Hi, I'm Colonel Kelly Howard, and I'm here with Sam today, who is in her first trimester, and with Summer, who's in her fourth trimester, or a postpartum. And this is a tactical mobility, active recovery, and mindfulness sequence for the pregnancy and postpartum PT population. So this is a shortened, more dynamic version of the full-length class. We're going to add in a few new poses as well as some dynamic movement. So this is a great sequence to do if you don't feel like you have a lot of time, but you still want to do something to help take care of your body and your baby. As always, listen to your body and avoid any pose or variation that feels uncomfortable or unsafe. This sequence is safe for all 4 trimesters, not just 1 and 4, but just look out for how you are feeling. The way you feel and the well-being of your baby should be the top priority during this practice. So this sequence is designed to be gentle and safe, yet strengthening to the mind, body, and spirit. We'll begin by doing with a little breath awareness. So starting in a comfortable seated position, allowing the eyes to close or the gaze to soften, perhaps resting the palms open on the knees. And taking a few moments here to tune in, to shift the focus internal. And to draw the attention to the inhale and exhale through the nose. This helps to warm and filter the air. And breathing into the low belly also helps to massage the vagus nerve that sends the calming signals throughout our body, into our mind, to our baby, even as we start moving. So gently inhaling, gently exhaling, allowing the breath to be the priority here. And then bringing the hands to heart center. Perhaps set an intention for your practice today. Maybe it is just to move the body in a way that feels good, release stress and tension, connect with baby, just invite a sense of peace and calm. It can be anything. Just getting clear on why you are doing these poses on your mat today. Taking another inhale and exhale. Release the hands down and make your way over onto all fours. So coming into a tabletop position with the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. We'll just do some gentle cat and cows to awaken and enliven the spine. So take an inhale, and then on an exhale, round the spine, tucking the chin and chest and tucking the tailbone. On an inhale, start to arch the upper back, chin up, gaze up, but keep the lower back neutral or maybe just a slight arch. We don't want to be arching too much because that is the direction that our baby is pulling us in anyway. So exhaling, coming into cat pose. Inhaling, coming into a cow with a neutral back. And just moving at your own pace, matching movement and breath, which might be slower or faster than how I'm going. Everything I say is just a guide. This is your own practice, your own time to move your body in a way that feels good, in a way that feels good for your baby. And then take one more round. And then find stillness here. And we'll move into spinal balancing, extending the left leg behind us with the toes tucked under, stretching the calf first. And then perhaps lifting the back leg, pressing through the ball of the foot or the heel. And maybe also lifting the right arm, engaging the core, feeling that transverse abdominis, that corset wrap around and support you and baby. Good. Place the right hand down and place the left foot down and turn it flat. And moving into a modified side plank, bring the left arm to the sky. So trying to open up the chest here towards the ceiling, gazing up at the thumb if it's all right with the neck. Maybe choosing to extend the left arm overhead, pinky side down, feeling the connection of your foot, the outer edge of left foot to your fingertips. Steady inhale, steady exhale. And then close the pose, coming back into tabletop on all fours. And we'll take the other side. So extend the right leg behind you this time, stretching the calf first. And engaging the core for support, lift right leg into a balance, pressing through the ball of the foot or the heel. Just make it a conscious choice. And then lift the left arm up. Creating traction in the spine here, seeing how much space we can create between each vertebra by reaching in opposite directions while keeping a steady breath in the nose and out of the nose. Place left hand down here and turn the right foot flat on the mat, moving into a modified side plank. Right hand to right hip or reach it up to the ceiling. And stay here or reach the right arm up and overhead. Pinky side down. So a long line from the outer right foot through the fingertips. Inhaling gently. Exhaling gently. Closing the pose. Coming back onto all fours. Bring the knees apart and the toes together and start to walk the hands back, the hips back, coming into a child's pose. Resting the forehead on the mat. If you have blocks, you can rest the forehead on blocks or bring your forearms in. This is a home-based pose, a place to come back to if at any point this class is moving more quickly than you would like it to, or you notice that you just need to take a little break and back off. Allow the heart to really release towards the floor here, that area between the shoulder blades to melt down. And then lifting and spreading all 10 fingers, enliven the arms. Pressing all 10 fingers into the mat, start to shift the hips forward and curl the toes under, lifting the hips high for downward facing dog. So if the hamstrings are tight, you can bend the knees to really lift the tailbone towards the sky and reach the heels towards the floor. If this pose is too intense, you can always do puppy pose, which is stretching the arms out, keeping the hips over the heels and allowing the chest to release down. From down dog, we'll move into a three-legged dog, lifting the right leg. So everything in down dog stays the same, but the right leg is lifted. Now, if your balance is too challenged here, just go ahead and place the right leg back down. If you'd like to go a little further, you can bend the right knee, open up the hips, stacking right hip on top of left hip, just preparing our hips for some openers to come. If it feels good to rotate the ankles, you can bring that in. Do whatever feels good to make this class your own. If you've opened your hip, go ahead and straighten the leg back out. And now Summer is going to come with me into pigeon pose, and Sam is going to move into a seated figure 4. It's the same thing, but in one version, we are on our forearms resting down. And in the version that Sam is doing, we're going to place our right ankle above the knee and come at it that way. So same exact thing, just this one might be more accessible for you depending on how you're feeling today, how your hips are feeling, and how big your baby is. So pigeon pose is a great hip opener. If you sit a lot or do other dynamic movements, your hips might naturally be more tight. We have a lot of relaxin hormone in pregnancy that brings a lot of flexibility to our joints. So we don't want to go too far, but we still want to give a little love to our hips. All right, and coming up onto the forearms, very slowly curl the toes backward and find your way to down dog. All right, three-legged dog on this side. Inhale, lifting the left leg. And this side might be different than the other, so feel free to place the leg down if your balance is more challenged on this side, or if you want to go further, you can bend the left knee and open up the hips. Maybe doing some knee circles or ankle circles here, whatever feels good. Or if it feels good to be still, just be still. And moving from three-legged dog into pigeon, or for Sam, making her way into a seated position and down to a seated figure four. So in pigeon pose, let me slow it down for you. On this side so you can see, you'll lunge forward with the left foot and then toe heel the foot over to the right side of the mat. For many of us, the foot will naturally come closer to the groin. If we're not as flexible in our hips, totally fine. If you're more flexible, the shin will be more parallel. All right, you can stay on the hands or come down on the forearms. It's a gentle opening for the hips before we move into our leg sequence. Steady inhales, steady exhales. And then coming up onto your hands if you are in pigeon pose. And for Sam, uncrossing the legs, and we'll all meet in a downward facing dog. So in this last down dog, really lifting the tailbone up to the sky, pressing the heels down. Shoulders rotate away from the ears. And then bending the knees, looking at the hands, lunge one foot and then the other to the top of the mat. Bring your hands to shins and lengthen halfway up. Get space in the spine. And exhale, gentle fold forward. With a rounded spine, one vertebra at a time, come up to stand. Head, neck, and shoulders come last. Shoulders up to the ears, then back, and then down. All right, we're going to move into our dancing warrior sequence. So first, step the left leg behind you, coming into a warrior two pose. So arms parallel to the ground, gazing at the front middle finger. We'll move through 4 different poses here and do a few rounds just to get the blood flowing and heart rate up. From warrior two, take peaceful warrior, turning the front palm up and reaching up and over. Feeling a connection from your right hip crease through your right fingertips. You can back off the knee bend if you want to give your legs a little bit of a break in front. From peaceful warrior, come back to warrior two. And find extended side angle with right elbow to knee, reaching left arm up and overhead. Alternately, the left hand can come to the ceiling or stay on your hip. Good. And now bring left hand to left hip and straighten the front leg and place the right hand on right shin for triangle pose. So both legs are straight here, bringing the shoulders back in alignment with the hips, and maybe extending the left arm up and overhead, gazing up at the thumb. So there's no need to go closer to the foot or ankle unless you think that would just feel better for your body. Come as high up as you need to on the shin to create space, not just in the left side body, but also in the right. Good. Next inhale brings you back to Warrior Two. And we're going to flow through all that twice more. So taking Peaceful Warrior, right arm up and over. Good. Exhaling into extended side angle. Left arm reaches up and over the left ear. Left hand to left hip, straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Left arm to the sky. Nice. And once more, Warrior Two. Peaceful Warrior. Reach it back. Extended side angle. Reach over. And left hand to hip, straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Next inhale, back to Warrior Two. Good. And turn to face the long edge of your mat, bringing the heels in and the toes apart, coming into Goddess pose. So bending the knees, bringing the knees over the ankles. You control how deeply you want to sit. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. And exhale, bend the elbows, bringing the shoulder blades down the back like goalpost arms. So keeping a steady inhale here, steady exhale. Inhaling, softening, exhaling, contracting. One more inhale, one more exhale. Good, straighten the legs. Just go ahead and reach up into star pose, lengthening everything out. And then turn towards the front of the mat and step to the front. We'll take the other side. So right foot steps back this time for Warrior Two. Warrior Two on the left. Gaze is at the front middle finger, shoulders relax away from the ears. From Warrior Two, find Peaceful Warrior, front palm flips up. Right hand is the kickstand. One breath back to Warrior Two. And then extended side angle. Elbow to knee, right arm reaches up and overhead. Steady inhale. Steady exhale. Right hand to hip, straighten the front leg now, triangle pose. Left hand to shin, maybe reaching right arm to the sky, depending on your balance today. We want to prioritize stability though, so if you feel more stable with the hand down, keep it down. And flowing through that a couple more times. On an inhale, find your way to Warrior Two. Exhale, Peaceful Warrior. Inhale back up, Warrior Two. Exhale, extended side angle. Bring hand to right hip and straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Right hand to the sky or staying at your hip. Good, once more. Inhale, sink the hips, Warrior Two. Palm up, reaches up and over. Good, back to Warrior Two. Extended side angle. Right hand to hip, straighten the front leg. Come into triangle pose. Nice. Next inhale, find you back at Warrior Two. and stepping forward with the back foot. All right, bring the feet hips width apart or a little further if you feel stable, a little more stable with the feet further apart. So we're going to move into chair pose here. Some squats. You control how far you release down. But what we're also doing here is trying to engage our pelvic floor, and we'll do that on the way up. So on an inhale, we'll lower the hips, lift the arms, and on an exhale, we'll press the feet into the mat, come up and lift up with the pelvic floor on the way up. So inhale, lower down. Exhale, press into the feet, lift the pelvic floor up, squeeze and contract. Good. Inhale down. Feel free to go at your own pace here. Exhale up. Nice. Inhale down. Exhale up. Once more. Inhale down. Exhale up and contract. And last time. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale up, lift the pelvic floor. Good. All right, come to a low squat here. So Sam is going to come to garland pose, which is a low squat. Summer doesn't feel quite as comfortable in this pose, so she's going to do a modification with both knees on the ground, toes tucked under, hands supporting her, and then picking up her right foot and placing it on the ground and working with her body weight until she feels a nice stretch in her right inner thigh, her right hip. And meanwhile, Sam can keep her arms there, or you can bring the hands to heart center using the elbows to open the hips, keeping the torso long, the sternum lifting. Good. All right, from here we'll come on to our knees. For the low squat, coming forward with one foot, left foot this time, staying on the back toes. And then shifting your hips, making sure she evens out the body some, gives the left hip some love too. All right. Doing there? You've been in the squat for a while, Sam. Nice job. Okay, and then come up to stand on the knees. And we'll move into camel pose. So hands on the low back, fingers point up. You can curl the back toes under if you'd like to bring the heels a little closer to you. And stay here with the sternum lifting to the sky. Or if you'd like to go further, one hand, or perhaps both hands, and hold on to the heels. You can also do the same pose on your backs. It's called bridge pose here, with a block underneath you. Lying on the back sometimes isn't as comfortable for pregnant women with tailbone pain, or if the baby's position is causing pressure on the vena cava, which is more prevalent in later pregnancy as the baby gets larger. Then coming out the same way we came in, lifting up with the sternum, releasing back down onto the mat, feet to the sides, come to seated. And we'll cross the legs and do a gentle spinal twist. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to shoulders, twist right. You can take one hand, place it on baby if that feels good. Inhaling steadily, exhaling steadily. So our breath is the constant throughout all of these different shapes that we're putting our body in. Inhale, reach both arms up, and exhale, twist gently to the left. Again, maybe placing right hand on belly if that feels good. Each inhale lengthening. Each exhale focusing on the gentle twist. Good. Come back to center here. And bend the knees and support yourself as you lower down onto the ground. We'll roll to our left sides. Pausing here with the knees into the chest and the head resting on your arm. So spending a few moments in relaxation. So this is the opportunity for your body to integrate the work that you've done. To acclimate to the openings that you created. This is the time for you to connect with baby. Maybe choosing to place your hand on your belly, if that feels right to you. Whether your baby is here or your baby has already been born. Just sending peaceful, calming thoughts to your baby and to the home of your baby. Knowing that right here, right now, is exactly where you need to be. And that you have everything you need to care for yourself and baby. If you'd like to lie here longer and you're doing this video, you're certainly welcome to press pause and continue. Otherwise, take the right hand and press it down into the mat or the floor and find your way up to a comfortable seat with the eyes closed and the spine tall. Just taking a moment to notice any changes in the body or mind or spirit that might be different than the start of the practice today. Maybe taking a moment to thank your baby for accompanying you in this practice, whether here or in spirit. And bringing the hands to heart center, just remember that your body is a powerful vessel, nurturing and protecting the life within. Embrace its strength. The strength not only in your muscles, but also in your courage and your resilience. Another calm and deep breath on your own. Allow the eyes to open. Rejoin the space. You got this, mamas. Thank you all.